Hey guys, I'm Nisa Homey. Today I'm sharing how to make Motichur Ladoo without making boondi. So this is a very quick and easy Motichur Ladoo recipe made with chana dal, and you don't need to make boondi to make this Motichur Ladoo. Super easy to make even for beginners. So without wasting much time, let's get started with the recipe. To make Motichur Ladoo with the chana dal, I have soaked chana dal for about 3 to 4 hours, and you can see that the chana dal is nicely soaked now. So I'm going to rinse it a couple of times and then I'm going to keep it on a strainer. Okay, now I have kept the soaked chana dal on a strainer and I'm going to keep it on the strainer for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just in case if you're wondering, this is the measuring cup I use to measure the chana dal. This is 250 ml measuring cup. Okay, now it's 10 minutes now and the chana dal is drained well. I'm going to transfer the strained chana dal into my blender jar. And now I'm going to coarsely grind this without adding any water. Okay, now the chana dal is coarsely ground. So this is the consistency which is preferred for this recipe. Now as you can see, there are a few chana dal staying intact. That is okay. Transfer the ground chana dal to another bowl. Next I'm going to make small pakodas with the ground chana dal, and for that I have heated my small cast iron kadai, and into that I'm adding in some wood pressed groundnut oil. Wood pressed oils has a very neutral flavor and taste. Instead of wood pressed oil, you can also use organic desi ghee. Remember that healthy cooking is all about using good quality oils. So try to use wood pressed oils for a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. Okay, now the oil has heated and I'm reducing the flame to the lowest. Now to make pakodas with the chana dal, take small pieces of the ground chana dal and add it into the oil. Now put the flame on medium and give it a stir. So we are just lightly frying the chana dal. You don't have to make the pakodis crispy or turn it into a light brown color. You need to lightly fry it for about 1 to 2 minutes. And now I'm going to remove it to another bowl. Again add in the ground chana dal. Make it into small balls and add. Instead of making boondi, we are actually making a pakoda with the ground chana dal and then make ladoo with this pakoda. So it's more easier than making boondi and making the ladoo. Let's remove this to another bowl. Now the reason why I use a small kadai is that you need very less oil than when you're using a larger kadai or a larger pan. So this way you can reduce the quantity of oil you're using. And a lot of you had asked me whether I reuse the oil. I don't usually reuse the oil, so I make sure that there is not much oil left, and that is the reason why I'm always using a small kadai when I'm deep frying. I prefer to do this way and it works well for me. All the pakodis are fried and I'm going to allow this to cool down. The chana dal pakodis has cooled down now. So I'm going to transfer this into my dry blender jar. And now I'm going to coarsely grind the pakodas. Heat a kadai with 1 teaspoon desi ghee. Now if you don't prefer to use desi ghee, you can use wood pressed groundnut oil instead of desi ghee. Add in 2 tablespoons cashew nuts and lightly roast the cashew nuts. And once the cashew nuts are roasted and is light golden brown, remove it to a plate. Add in 2 tablespoons raisins. And once the raisins puffs up, remove to a plate. And keep this aside. Into this I am adding in 1 cup kandasari sugar, half cup water. Reduce the flame to the lowest and lightly give it a mix. And allow the sugar to get dissolved on low flame until you get a sticky consistency. You don't need one string consistency. You need a sticky consistency sugar syrup for this recipe. I'm using kandasari sugar. Khand is an unrefined desi variety of sugar, hence the color may be slightly darker. While the sugar is getting dissolved, I am crushing about 10 to 15 cardamoms to make cardamom powder. So I am just crushing the cardamom. Once crushed, peel off the skin and remove the seeds into the stone grinder. Freshly ground cardamom gives a nice flavor to this Motichur Ladoo, so try not to skip using cardamom. And once the skin is peeled, grind the seeds into a fine powder. And the freshly ground cardamom powder is ready. And let's check on the sugar syrup. We need the sugar syrup to be sticky consistency. We don't want it to be one string consistency. Just its sticky consistency is needed. Another 2 to 3 minutes it will be ready. For those who don't have access to kandasari sugar, try to at least use sulfur-free sugar. Okay, now the sugar syrup is of sticky consistency. And at this stage, I'm adding in the ground pakodas. Add in the freshly ground cardamom. And give it a mix. Let it cook and saute in the sugar syrup for about 5 minutes on low flame. Make sure you stir it on and off. Now I am not using any artificial food colorings in this recipe. I prefer not to use any artificial ingredients in my recipes. Hence I avoid using artificial food colorings. Make sure you stir it really well so that the chana dal is incorporated into the sugar syrup. You just need to do this process for about 5 minutes. It's about 5 minutes and as you can see the mix has become slightly dry. And at this stage I am adding in the roasted raisins and cashew nuts. I am also adding in 1 teaspoon desi ghee just for flavor. Organic A2 desi ghee has a very unique flavor and that makes the laddu taste amazing. And I'm going to give this all a mix. And lastly I am adding in a couple of strands of saffron. Just give this a mix. Turn off the flame and cover with a lid. And allow it to cool lightly so that you can roll it into ladoos. And once it has cooled down and is slightly warm, grease your hand with desi ghee and roll into ladoos. And my quick and easy, healthy Motichur Laddu is ready to serve. With this recipe, you will get about 18 to 20 laddus. Let me just show you how soft the laddus are. So guys, do try this healthy Motichur Laddu and let me know how it turned out. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care. Bye bye.